If you could get to know that Israel launched a secret plan to develop nuclear weapons under the strict protection of the United States, shouldn't you wonder why Washington then battles countries like Iran that continuously ratifies the peaceful nature of its energy program? What if you learned Tel Aviv got the uranium from Argentina, which has moved towards a new stance in relations with Tehran? An investigation published by the online magazine Foreign Policy indeed shows how Israel bought over 80 to 100 tons of uranium oxide or yellow cake from the South American nation back in the 60s in order to fuel its demolar reactor and produce plutonium that can be used for weapons development. Based on recently declassified US intelligence documents, the report also describes how the US confirmed the information and kept silence about it. For the Argentine journalist and expert on geopolitical affairs, Mr. Carlos Aznares, the answer starts with one firm conviction. It is not the US that rules Israel, it is Israel that rules the US.
There was a limited investigation here about the uranium issue, but led to nowhere, because Zionism has a spectacular strength in Argentina. What did the US do? It protected Israel as always. Whenever the US protests Iran over its nuclear program, it forgets about the 200 nuclear warheads Israel has.
The double standard of the White House over Israel also gets clear in the political arena. While the US denounces or opposes any single country with ambitions of progress, these intelligence reports clearly show to the international community that Washington has actually been fully aware for almost 50 years about the always denied development of the nuclear weapons program by Israel and turned a blind eye because of its ever-greedy economic and geopolitical concerns.
I always say that it is not the US that helps Israel, but it is Israel that rules the US. If we take a look at the list of each CIA and Pentagon official that worked for US governments, we will find Zionists. Actually, many of them had dual citizenships from the US and Israel. That's also the case of US Vice President and other political figures.
The then administration of Argentina took all the necessary precautionary measures to avoid the misuse of the yellow cake by signing a clear and specific agreement with Tel Aviv on the Pacific purpose of the sale. However, Israel breached that commitment finally and used the nuclear material for its goals.
Bueno, yo creo que Irán y Argentina, Argentina e Irán tienen más de 100 años.
I think Argentina learned a lot from that sad experience with Israel back in the 60s. I don't think a mistake like that will be repeated by any administration.
Livianas y medianas.
The current government of Argentina has made yet no official comments on the 1964 yellow cake transaction, although a big part of the international community is eagerly waiting for those statements. The report that unveiled Israel's secret uranium purchase from Argentina also says Britain and Canada were fully aware of Tel Aviv's nuclear ambitions. Israel has kept its demonar reactors information highly classified since the facility became operational 50 years ago.